Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bet Whisperer. If you've ever placed a bet and felt like the sportsbook somehow had an invisible hand in your wallet, you're not imagining it. Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes of sportsbooks, the clever tricks, the hidden traps, and the psychological nudges that most bettors never see coming. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly how sportsbooks structure their lines, why public opinion matters more than you think, and how to avoid getting caught in traps that feel invisible but cost real money. Let's start with something deceptively simple, the opening line. You might see a team listed at -3 or an over divided by under at 47 and think, great, I'll just take that. But the opening line isn't set randomly. It's carefully calculated to account for more than just team strength. It accounts for public perception, betting patterns, and profit margins. Sportsbooks don't care who wins. They care about balancing the action so that no matter what happens, they make money. That's right, your favorite team winning doesn't automatically make the sportsbook lose. Here's a story. In a Monday night game a few seasons back, the sportsbook opened the line cautiously, knowing the public would load up on the popular team. By game day, the line had shifted, giving sharp bettors value while casual bettors thought they were getting fair odds when really, the trap was already set. This highlights the first big trap, public bias. Sportsbooks know fans love betting on stars and big-name teams, so they shade the line to protect themselves. The result? Favorites get overpriced while underdogs often hold hidden value for those who recognize it. Now, let's talk about bait bets. These are bets that look too good to be true, and usually are. Maybe it's a parlay offering a huge payout for seemingly easy picks, or an over divided by under that seems mispriced. Sportsbooks do this intentionally. They know humans love the thrill of chasing easy wins, and many players will throw money at a parlay that has near zero chance of hitting. Those bait bets are the casino equivalent of a fishing lure. You bite, and the house reels you in. And it's not just parlay traps. Even moneyline or spread bets can be subtle traps. For example, a popular team might have -120 odds, which looks standard. But did you know that the true probability of them winning might translate to -105? The extra juice, that small 15-cent edge, doesn't seem like much, but over hundreds or thousands of bets, it adds up. That's how sportsbooks make billions without anyone noticing. Let me share a personal story here. I once met a bettor in Vegas who prided himself on beating the books. He would chase underdogs relentlessly, convinced that the public always overvalued favorites. At first, it seemed like he had an edge, he had a few nice wins. But he ignored the subtle ways sportsbooks adjust lines, shifts in odds, sudden spreads, and changes to totals that reflected the market, not the actual game. Within weeks, he realized that even smart betting required not just picking winners, but understanding how the line itself was a moving target designed to work against you. This brings me to a critical point: odds shading. Sportsbooks don't always post true odds. They shade them slightly to protect themselves. Let's say a football game has a true 50/50 chance of going either way. Instead of offering even odds, -110 divided by -110, the sportsbook might subtly adjust the favorite to -115 and the underdog to +105. That tiny adjustment seems negligible, but it ensures the sportsbook earns a margin no matter which team wins. Most players don't notice it. They see even betting, but the house has already tilted the scales. Another trap is public line influence. Sportsbooks adjust lines based on betting volume, not outcomes. If one side gets heavy action, they move the line to balance risk. Chasing that move without knowing why means you're following the book, not your analysis. There's also the almost win trap common in props and parlays. Missing by a point or two feels close, pushing bettors to chase losses. Sportsbooks rely on that psychology to keep the money flowing. I want to give you a concrete example. A few months ago, I was watching a basketball game with a friend who had bet the over. The total was 220.5 points, and the game ended at 220. He lost by half a point. You could see it in his face, he was livid. Then, before the next game, he started chasing parlays and props to get it back. That's textbook emotional trap betting. It's why sportsbooks smile quietly whenever someone says, "I'll just bet a little more to win it back." Here's another trap most casual bettors never consider: the juice or vig. Every sportsbook takes a small commission, usually around 10% on each bet. On the surface, it seems trivial, but it's a constant drain. If you make 10 bets with standard negative 110 odds, the house has already taken a cut, which you must overcome. Just to break even. Many players underestimate this. They don't calculate the long-term impact of juice, and it quietly eats their bankroll. I once watched a football game where a backup QB came in early. Everyone panicked and hammered the over, thinking the defense would collapse. By the time my friend tried to bet the under, the sportsbook had already adjusted. That's the trap. Books don't need to know the outcome, they just react to public panic. Promotional traps work the same way. Free bets, deposit matches, or bonuses look tempting but often hide rollover requirements, odds restrictions, and fine print. If you don't read carefully, the bonus just feeds the house. Smart betting comes down to market awareness. Lines move for reasons. If you're blindly chasing, you're trapped. Always line shop too. Even a small difference like negative 110 versus negative 115 adds up long term. Public bias is another subtle trap. Most bet with their hearts, not stats, and sportsbooks exploit it. Same with prop bets, they're fun but often overpriced because casual bettors misjudge probabilities. The biggest lesson: avoid chasing quick wins. Long-term success comes from discipline, understanding, line movement, public behavior, and probability. Don't bet on hope or hype, bet on edges. So, to summarize the key sportsbook traps: bait bets like parlays and mispriced props, juice or vig quietly eating your bankroll, live betting traps where you're chasing the market, emotional traps from almost wins, promotional traps with strings attached, betting on favorites because of hype, not value. If you take away one thing from this, it's this: sportsbooks don't need to manipulate the games. They manipulate your perception, your psychology, and the odds to guarantee their margin. The better you understand these traps, the less likely you'll fall into them. And if you want to take action today, follow my curated picks and strategies to see how smart betting works in practice. So next time you sit down to place a bet, remember, the house always has an edge, but you don't have to play blind. Watch the line, understand why it moved, separate emotion from logic, and always consider the psychology behind every offer. Sportsbooks are smart, but so can you. Thanks for joining me today on The Bet Whisperer. Keep your edge sharp, question the odds, and never stop learning. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay curious, and keep whispering to those books.